I'm going to pick up this Baron. Does Old School want to play this Baron? We'll see if that's going to be the case. Because they also pick up Kestrel. I don't know if Old School plays Kestrel. I know he likes Ringo as well. He does play Glaive. There's a lot of option that Old School could play Adagio potentially, but it wouldn't be so good into Grace.
The thing is, right, look at that win rate. 68% for Baron. Even if it's not something that you enjoy playing that much, I feel like if you're Old School, you can play Baron, right? This guy is a mechanical god. He can play basically any carry hero. Like, you can't argue with those numbers at the end of the day. I feel like it's still just a strong pick regardless.
It is just a strong pick, but I mean, sometimes some teams just don't play. They've played the Baron, I think, only 2 or 3 times this season, and it just hasn't been a priority for them whatsoever. So they're definitely putting a lot of thought into it. Do they want to even play it into the Grace? I think, again,
the Adagio does come out. Old School on the Adagio, and Immortals will probably pick up the Baron here, and potentially Baron with maybe Batiste, but I'm not sure if they want. Maybe Samuel could work with the Grace Baron here. Let's see what they decide.
Yeah, we saw Cloud9 go with a Glaive last time they locked in that Adagio.
Yeah, they might do. Yeah, Cloud9's gonna want Glaive. That's a really good call. Because they do so well with the Glaive Adagio combinations.
Yeah, and there is a chance that Immortals, obviously would know this and could try and take the Glaive away from them. T-Tigers, we know, plays a very strong Glaive, whether he's going weapon or the crystal utility. And I think the double weapon with a Glaive could work really well for Immortals, or they could even go for a Krull.
Krul's banned. They can go Koshka here potentially. Koshka really would be good. Batiste, Koshka. Oh, they're going to take away the Glaive. They're going to deny the Glaive from Cloud9. So now, what does Cloud9 got to play? Because Joseph, well, weapon Blackfeather? Would that be even good? That would be very interesting to see what they're going to pick up here. Yeah, there's not a lot of weapon power heroes. A weapon Taka would be very risky. They really just targeted Grumpjaw, but it's against a Grace and a Glaive that can stun. So they're going to go with the weapon Blackfeather.
All right, well, we'll see how this one's going to work out. I mean, is there an argument to go with a double CP composition? Or like weapon power Adagio? Any of these crazy things?
I don't think so. Not against the Baron Glaive. It would be just incredibly risky. If you get knocked in, you're just going to be absolutely devastated. So I think the weapon Blackfeather makes the most sense here, trying to get onto the Baron and just harass him down when the fights do start up. But with the Grace there, it's going to be a really strong composition that Immortals have.
Yeah, Grace alongside a Baron as well. Both of them incredibly impactful heroes. What are your thoughts on this draft in the end, Suijay? How do you feel this one's
Baron Grace is super strong late game, so stronger than Lyra. Lyra is strong early. Blackfeather's weak early. Adagio's a little strong, so they do have double heals. However, if they get Atlas and Atlas, Adagio, and Blackfeather, they're a double Atlas team. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, they can potentially dive onto the Baron, but we'll see how that's going to work out. Obviously, the Grace heals will be difficult to deal with. Let's see whether Immortals have what it takes to push this to a third game. Let us know who you're supporting at home using that hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. But it's time to jump into the second game of this semi-final. It's time to see whether Cloud9 can finish off Immortals or whether we go to game 3.
Shattered glass, ladies and gentlemen, Immortals versus Cloud9, Volume 2. Yo, Denominate, hit it.
No. Not gonna happen. But we do have a Game 2 started up here now for this Immortals C9 matchup. What an exciting first game. Immortals looking like they had the victory in their hands, and it just didn't quite come through, Humanist.
Wow, bad boy Gabe Vizzle gets across the map, steals the back away from Tiggs, who was having a very defensive rotation, then uses boots to get himself back across the map so that they can't get onto his backs and try to farm those out. So super smart play. I really like the rotations early on here. And now suddenly Immortals in a bit of a pickle here. What have they done? Denominate, you didn't prophesize this. You didn't tell me that this is the way the game was going to play out. First blood here early on for Cloud9. You gotta wonder what's going on with Immortals there.
I mean, I can't give you all the information, even else we wouldn't be watching the game then. So
it's true, but I thought you were from the future, and we were laying our bets down on this one.
Yeah, good first blood kill there very early on in the game for Cloud9. That is going to give a little bit of a gold lead, actually about 1,000 here, just a minute and a half in the game on over to Cloud9. So an absolutely huge start for them. One of the huge things in that fight was that Baron came down to get some damage onto Gabe Vizzle and didn't have his jump jets to get out.
Yeah, that's not what you want at all. And now they're at the point where Old School being level 2, DNCO is level 1, he's now level 2. Zelsier are now level 2, but they were both level 1 up in the lane. And Old School, like, Zelsier jumped in with Benediction, used Dragon Blood, Zeo hits him. Old School just stands as the ground, busts himself, and just starts hitting him. Like, there's nothing, 2 versus 1, and they didn't have any advantage.
They didn't, and actually looking on over here at T-Tigers, we do have a double weapon blade picked up for him, so I'm interested to see if this does go into just a double weapon carry composition, look to delete somebody from the game, or if that's going to be like the Tension Bow Aftershock proc glaive that we haven't really seen in a while, but could still be effective here.
Right, like there's technically like those 3 variations, of course, and the proc build is one we haven't seen too much of. So super curious to see how that plays out. In the meantime, though, this is going to be Zeo just trying to farm. Honestly, the Adagio actually does pretty well, especially early on here up against this Baron. He's going to be in danger of taking quite a bit of damage if he hangs around, especially backed up by the Lyra.
Yeah, the Adagio and Lyra is definitely a deadly combination in the lane. So much sustain as well as so much damage, but it looks like we might have a fight down here in the jungle, Humanist.
Yeah, that's the Holy Nova. That's going to catch Joseph. Joseph with the Faint of Heart onto Zelsier. On point onto T-Tiger. Sigil boosts Joseph up. Look at Gabe Vizzle just boosting him. And whether it's rank or competition, just boosting his ally. T-Tiger's trying to get out of here. He's going to go ahead and knock Joseph back, pouncing into the wall. I don't know, I was going hard on the P's there. It was kind of fun. Old School and Gabe Vizzle move back up into the lane, though. Just back to farming time after playing a little bit of games in the jungle there.
Yeah, and this gold lead has started to neutralize a little bit for Immortals here. Again, DNZO has to be careful in the early game just because of the range that Adagio offers, as well as just the sheer damage here in the early game. Looks like Old School's looking to push this wave up to hopefully have DNZO miss out on a little bit of farm, making sure that Baron doesn't come online quite as early as he did last game.
Yeah, we'll see. Honestly, I feel like this is the kind of game where Baron might not ever come online if Cloud9 play it properly. The Black Feather does incredibly well into the Baron. I think, obviously, he sticks to targets very easily. Ooh, T-Tiger's getting lit up. Old School. I don't know how it seemed like he used boots, but he didn't even use his boots. Picked up his AC, and he moves up into the lane now. This is a huge power spike for this Adagio.
Yeah, getting a lot of the attacks down quick, especially with the additional damage on every other basic attack, is huge for the Adagio, especially when he empowers himself. He's able to get those empowered attacks out that much quicker, and that's what really gives Old School this ability to pressure the lane so heavily.
Well, with the lane forward, Old School's going to go ahead and drop down towards the jungle, see what's going on. Joseph, once again, playing some games deep in the jungle. T-Tigers will be able to take his backs here. But he's contested every time he takes his mid or even tries to go to the front, and it's not what you want. Honestly, I could be wrong. We haven't seen the glaive even move up to the lane yet, right?
We haven't, and that's until right now.
Until the prophet. Who's the prophet now?
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Day, who's the prophet now?
Apparently this duo.
He took a bunch of damage there, but he's all right. This is Lyra. There's this heal right back up. Fountain's going to be on cooldown for a while, so that's just something that Cloud9 should play around, and I wouldn't expect them to put themselves in a position where they get caught. But right now, it does allow Zelsier to do things like he was currently doing, just jumping in with the Benediction, just trying to be annoying. He applies Dragon Blood Contract, but oh yeah, it was procced off there. Zeo hits him, but it's really not doing that much. It doesn't feel too effective.
It definitely doesn't feel that effective when you get it down on a captain that's particularly building a lot of health. You know, obviously Lyra, the Imperial Sigil, needs that health.
Tigers is here. He's going to knock Old School back. Old School just uses his boots, plus he gets the heal, and he's out of there. Joseph with the Rose Offensive backwards, and Cloud9 just reset their position. They're out of there. Things got a little hairy very quickly, but just right back out. And no harm, no foul. Still 1-0 in favor of C9. Net worth, the difference not too big there. Whoa, Joseph got caught out there. Huge surprise factor. The healing comes out. Suddenly Joseph is in the position to find the kill, and Tigers goes down. Zelsier might as well. One more basic maybe out of Old School. If that had procced, the AC would have taken him down. Zelsier living on the edge. He's going to hang out here. try to back up Zeo, but I don't know if this is actually... yeah, it's going to be okay, because Old School and Gabe Vizzle are going to drop down.
Yeah, and that's really the power of this double heal composition. Joseph dropped so dangerously low, but the heal coming out of Old School and Gabe Vizzle was able to keep him alive, as well as got that burn down onto T-Tigers, and that's what really allowed Old School to ramp up his damage there.
Old School, one of the best lane adagios we know, and it's great to see him on this pick here. It's super exciting. It's a very unique play style. And I think it's easy to underestimate the damage output that can come out of a buffed up Adagio, especially if he has someone burning with that Arcane Fire. It really hurts here. Serpent Mask is going to be picked up for Joseph, so a little bit more sustain for him as he starts to maybe get into some of these fights. We have all of the members up in the lane currently. I'm not sure everybody knows. Now they should know as Joseph does move forward. Faint of Heart, what's the play? He gets knocked back, but he should Rose Defensive out of there. Yeah, with the healing plus a little bit of the durability, he should be just fine. Holy Nova doesn't connect. Ion Cannon kind of off the mark. Zeo not quite predicting Joseph's movement there. I don't know if it would have killed him, but it would have taken him down pretty low. Joseph's going to pour it out. This just... It's kind of like Joseph gets in there, he tries to do something, they get out, he doesn't die. It's not too big of a deal.
Yeah, and it actually looks like Joseph might be working into a double sustain build here. He has the Serpent's Mask first, but since the Grace is on the enemy team, I think you almost have to build into that Poison Chip here. He missed.
Yeah, I think that's, like, it's not a problem at all. If he will have enough damage, even with those couple items, to have a serious impact, and if they are focusing him down, that means Old School's getting enough damage in, I would imagine. If they're focusing Old School, that means that Joseph's applying Poison Shiv and doing work. So I would like to see that. I think it'd be pretty good for him. Of course, he could probably pivot away from it and still have a good impact in this game in a different way. Gabe and Old School trying to get damage down on this turret. Turret actually put aggro off onto Gabe. Look at that! Oh my goodness! T-Tigers just got put into the dirt. Now, Old School, that is the deceptive damage output of the Adagio. Joseph with the on point moves forward with the Faint Heart. Rose Defensive over the top. Divine Intervention keeps Dienzio alive. The Fountain keeping them alive just a little bit longer. Zelsier jumps back in with a Benediction, playing some Kings, man, playing with fire there. But Zelsier and Zeo able to get out at the end of that one. Sketchy situation though.
Yeah, and this jungle weapon Blackfeather is actually looking out really good for Joseph here. They're really taking an advantage here in the early game. T-Tigers, though, comes in and steals away that farm.
T-Tigers is like, yo, I'm ready now. I am ready. I have a tension bow. You can't do anything to me anymore. No, of course he can. Tigers gets in there. He gets his mids. That's cool, but he is seriously behind at this point.
Yeah, pretty substantial amount of gold behind me. About a 3,000 gold lead sitting up here for Cloud9, and it does look to be a double weapon composition here for the side of Immortals. So this makes it very clear for both Old School and Joseph to really prioritize getting that armor, and that'll reduce the damage coming in from both of the enemy heroes.
Old School makes the rotation back with Joseph just to go ahead and get that ambient gold. It's really nice. I like the efficiency, and I think more teams should take advantage of those kind of rotations. And Old School right back up into the lane, uses that Gift of Fire, and just clears this wave out super quickly. It feels like C9 could do basically whatever they want on the map. Denominate, what would you imagine that they're going to try to achieve here?
I mean, honestly, if you're C9, I think you just keep pushing the advantage. Obviously, they just collected up on that gold mine, so looking pretty good for them. And a fight looks like it's breaking out, Humanist.
Ion Cannon, they're on the Crystal Sentry fighting. They need to just kill this if they're going to hang around here, yeah. Okay, they just put it down, and then very quickly, they jump forward. Zeo repositions with the jump jets. Old School knocked back with the afterburn. T-Tigers melting low, but so is Old School. Jump jets forwards from Zeo. They can't take out Old School. All the healing there. They finally get it, but they've traded. It's the trade 1-for-1 now. T-Tigers though. Gabe as well. Joseph will take Tiggs down, and Zelsier just gonna run out towards the east side here. Joseph with a Faint Heart moves right back in. Look at that Rose Trail. You're like, where did he go? There he is. Zelsier with the Holy Nova trying to buy some time. Benedict's back the other way. And, well, this is just a matter of time before he goes down here. But I think Zelsier did a pretty good job buying a bit of time. Almost, yeah, he did delay that ace, so that's a really good job.
Did delay the ace, but he also staggered his death timer here now, so he's not going to be available with his team. So for the next, fortunately the timers are still low, but for the next 15 seconds or so until Zelsier is really to rejoin, Dienzio and T-Tigers have to make sure they don't get caught out, and C9 is pushed very far in their jungle.
It doesn't feel like Dienzio's putting out a whole bunch of damage right now. What's up? What's up with that?
He's just a little behind in the build in comparison to where he was at last game. He does have his third item complete in 11.5 minutes, which is where you want to be on Baron. But last game, at this point in time, he was already working into a fourth item. We talked about how early he came online, and he's just not that ahead this game. Plus, again, the double weapon composition here. Old School and Joseph both have a tier 2 armor built up already, and that's negating some of the damage from both Tigers and Dienzio.
I guess it's like, how do you counter the healing out of the Grace? Well, you just pick up a couple healers yourself. T-Tigers, he's on Joseph. Mortal Wound applied, but just a defensive afterburn. It may be some miscommunication as you see Zelsier just benedict his way in there. It's like one's in and one is out, and maybe kind of misreading the situation. You wonder how much of that has to do with having a sub in here at this point. But this is Immortals finding themselves on the back foot right now. They're down in net worth, down in kills, and I don't know, everything is just kind of going against them at this point. What is the moment where they're going to actually maybe try to make a stand?
Immense gold pay.
The real opportunity here for Immortals is they have this Baron. If Baron can get his fourth item and T-Tigers is allowed to get a good reposition down onto Old School particularly, they may be able to blow him up very early on in the fight, and that's where they can really start to push an advantage. In a all-out team fight, though, as of right now, the armor is just so good for Cloud9. Very likely going to be working into tier 3 here shortly. They're just surviving too long.
Sketchy Gabe's in with the Arcane Passage, the Bright Bulwark. Zio tries to take the portal himself, but gets melted anyway. T-Tigers will just have to use Afterburn. He knocks Joseph back, Afterburn to run away. And Zelsier just tries to run away with him as well. They will successfully get out of there, but Zio just gets melted, man. Like, it seemed like he didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, they're just not at a position yet that they can fight. Again, Baron really has to complete this fourth item to really try to get past the armor. He doesn't have any pierce besides the natural tension bow pierce, which is only, I think it's 12%. So it's a good chunk, but again, we normally don't have a tier 2 armor out of both of the carries yet. So definitely Cloud9 is doing a great job prioritizing the armor here. T-Tigers has completed the Atlas Pauldron. It's just kind of a hard decision for him here to decide, do I get it down on Old School or do I get it down on Joseph if I have to get it on one? Because they are both attacking for the damage.
Yeah, this is a really tough situation. That's a really tough call to make. Like, yeah, you're dealing with a whole bunch of things you don't like there. Holy Nova's going to connect on it too. Zelsier buying some time. Joseph, Rose Offensive in and then right back out as he takes a whole bunch of damage there. And Immortals, they had an advantageous position in that fight, but look at the healing, and suddenly C9 are all sitting at full health. Joseph was essentially dead, and he's ready to go. He'll just port home. Okay.
Yeah, they did take the opportunity there to port home. That's just going to give Old School an opportunity to safely buy. He does now have that tier 3 armor, so he's going to be able to really survive in that deep kill zone that Immortals really wants. That's once the Black Feather dives, they want to find a kill, and Joseph, if he can land his on point for that extra tankiness, this could still be very well Cloud9's game, even though Baron is almost at his fourth item.
It just feels to me like Immortals, once they got like halfway through the draft, like they had something in mind and it just went away. It just feels too easy to itemize against all of their damage output sources here. Cloud9 doing a nice job with their gameplay, also their itemization. Mid's going to be taken away. That'll go to Joseph here. And we do have Kraken out on the map. It's going to start to be captured up by Cloud9. And Immortals, they're going to have to make a really big play here. And so it's going to be surprisingly crazy plays from Immortals, I think, if they actually get in here and steal this away or maybe even kill a couple of Cloud9. No, not even going to contest it here. And this is going to be very dangerous as if they lose one hero on this defense, like this could easily be Cloud9 just pushing all the way in.
It indeed could, and what was unfortunate for Immortals there was Dienzio actually recalled to get that infusion before they knew what was going on. There's not a whole lot of particle effects available on the side of Cloud9 that they can really scout that out. So that was a huge take for Cloud9. They're all at full health, and they are just hammering down this turret already.
Hammering down on the turret. I see Hammers Esports in the chat. I would love the way you describe that fight right there. Arcane Passage, Bright Bulwark down. Joseph trying to get on top of Zeo, but Zeo gets back with his own jump jets. Oh, he takes so much damage. Zelsier and T-Tigers as well. Old School doing a great job. The Atlas Pauldron really not negating too much of the damage output potential of the squad. And, okay, so Kraken gets down 50% health. C9 are going to play it super careful and just move out of here. And I think that's a pretty good call. They're going to take the whole backs rotation and the Crystal Sentry.
Yeah, and it's definitely looking good for C9 to really pick up 2 points uncontested here. The first game was super close. This one looking pretty heavily in their favor. And they're trying to make sure that they are going to be in that first and second place matchup and force Immortals down into the third place matchup. And this is going to give both of these teams an opportunity to pick up additional points going on.
Gosh, man, Immortals would have loved to get to the finals and do well this week. It would have been really, really big deal for them. We do have Joseph picking up a Crucible here, so this is a pretty cool item pickup. Why would he go for the Crucible in this situation?
You know, it's really hard to say. I mean, maybe just really respecting Zelsiar with that Holy Nova. There's not really any huge crowd control otherwise, unless if he can block an afterburn coming out of T-Tigers. As well as just the Crucible's raw health that it gives.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to commit to a Slumbering Husk that's effect is only going to take one attack from Baron to proc, and huge fight coming out here.
Yeah, another engage. Holy Nova's going to connect. Zelsier tries to peel for his team. T-Tiger's taking a whole bunch of damage, and he's melted down. Zeo jump jets back, but Joseph follows him. He's so sticky. You can't get away here. And they've actually dropped Old School, which is a little bit surprising that they were able to find that amount of damage. But yeah, Cloud9 should be able to take this pretty handedly. Zelsier, just a matter of time. Double kill there for Joseph, Gabe Vizzle, and Joseph still alive. And right down here next to the base. So this is going to take a whole bunch of damage. I don't know if this is going to be over. Nah, this is not going to be over.
Not going to be over. The death timer is getting very, very low. Joseph also very, very low. Gabe Vizzle very likely going to heal him up, but they're probably just going to leave after one turret just because T-Tigers is coming up and Danzio's up in a matter of a second now.
Yeah, they're going to respect Zeo and Zelsier respawning here. I don't know why, but I'm just kidding. I know why, but I'm just making the point. C9 are so dominant in this game. It honestly, it just feels like Immortals actually can't do anything.
Fortunately, they were able to find a fight or a kill onto Old School in that last fight. That's the one downfall of Adagio. He boots in and then had absolutely no movement available to him to get away from Baron. If Old School would have lived that fight for the ace, that very likely would have been a Cloud9 game right there.
Players coming out from both teams. Cloud9 moving forward, a portal engage into the bulwark one more time. Zeo's getting lit up. Jump Jets buys him about a second and a half as Joseph just chases him down. T-Tigers, he's going to get melted as well. And Zelsier just watches as his team crumbles before his eyes. He can't save them. Too much damage coming out of Cloud9. And, well, C9, they're going to be taking this series 2-0 here. Pretty dominant fashion as well.
Yeah, it was looking really good for Cloud9 from the beginning of this game all the way to the end. All turrets still available on their side with a 9,000 gold lead. So definitely pulling it together from that first game that, honestly, I thought Immortals had. I honestly just thought Immortals had it.
Yeah, I thought Immortals could get some work done here, but C9 kind of flexing on Immortals here, letting them know, yo, we're still one of the top dogs. Like, you know, you might take out TSM, but we're standing here ready to go. And, well, they knock them down. But, guys, let's keep this broadcast moving forward. We'll break this one down, see what's going on. Munchables, take it away.